How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Last time, we finished off episode RR by taking on the boss of Team Rainbow Rocket, Giovanni, here inside of the Aether Paradise Mansion. However, Giovanni is not done scheming because, as you may have seen at the end of episode RR, there was kind of a little epilogue scene where Giovanni alluded to taking over a different world after being teleported somewhere else thanks to one of Colress's machines. It's speculated that he was alluding to Team Rocket's takeover within the mobile game Pokemon Go, because I believe around the time episode RR came out, or shortly after, is when Team Rocket was first introduced into Pokemon Go. So that's just something to help tie in all of the games together, even though Go is kind of a spin-off game, not really, sort of. I mean, I'd put it in the same vein as like Colosseum and the Stadium game, so yeah, I'd consider it a spin-off. Anyway, this time we are continuing our endeavors here in the Alola region for the post-game of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. There are some things that are new to the post-game between Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, and then there are things that are carried over from that initial post-game. So this is where I'm going to be breaking some hearts, because I only plan on showing the completely brand new things in the post-game of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Certain things like the Eevee user side mission, showing off the Z moves, stuff like that. I will show off the new exclusive Z moves that were introduced in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but I'm not going to go out of my way to show every other one, if that makes sense. So things that carry over from the initial Sun and Moon post-game in Ultra Sun and Moon, I am going to completely ignore, unless it's drastically changed in some way. And there are a couple things that are changed, and they're actually really awesome changes. We'll get into that later as the post-game carries on, but I just wanted to address it now, that this post-game is probably going to be as long, or around as long, as the Sun and Moon post-game, but it's not gonna be extensive like the Sun and Moon post-game, if that makes sense. Enough of me rambling, though. There are things that we can do, like I mentioned. We are gonna start out back at our home base. I was opening the menu to go to my Pokemon bag thing. No, we're actually starting out in our hometown area. We're gonna be flying to... where is Icky Town? There it is. We're gonna be flying to Icky Town because there is actually something very important that we can do there, starting out our endeavors. And actually, he's literally right here. Why, hello, champion. Alola to you. I've got an idea. Since you've taken the trouble to come visit old Hala, could I ask you to help an old trainer brush up on his moves? I would be happy to. In that case, we must go to a location befitting the champion of Alola. Now, I will hold nothing back. It's time you remembered what I can really do. Old Hala is here to make you holler. Here we go, we have been challenged by the Kahuna of Melemele Island, Hala. He's gonna have 5 Pokemon, the first of which is going to be Hariyama, level 63, fighting type, with Thick Fat for the ability. With the moves, Close Combat, Knock Off, Heavy Slam, and Fake Out. I'm gonna lock myself into Dazzling Gleam. It's gonna use Fake Out, I mean, it's part of the moveset. Anytime AI team people have Fake Out, you can just expect them to use it on the first turn. But I wanted to lock into my move anyway, just because, you know, that just makes it easier on me. Alright, Hariyama goes down. Perfect. Triton is going to end up growing to level 74. Excellent. Caffeine is going to grow to level 68. Even better. And Hala is going to be sending out his next Pokemon, which is going to be Poliwrath, level 63. Water fighting type with Water Absorb for the ability. With the moves, Waterfall, Brick Break, Poison Jab, and Payback. It's gonna go for Poison Jab because it has that move on its moveset to counter the fairy types such as my Triton. However, it does not do enough, nor does it poison me. And since we are 11 levels higher than it, well, critical hit probably didn't matter, but we still took it out anyway. Like I said, like I always say, we appreciate the critical hits around here. Rocco is going to grow to level 77, and Hala is going to be sending out his next Pokemon. His next Pokemon, I just lost where I was at. Hang on one moment. His next Pokemon is Machamp. Oh goodness, where was I? His next Pokemon is Machamp. Here we go. There's my notes. Almost lost them. Machamp! Machamp level 63. Fighting type with Guts for the ability. With the moves, Cross Chop, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, and Fire Punch. Alright, let's just go with Dazzling Gleam. He does outspeed me. Okay. I do live on 1 HP, which I do appreciate. Pokemon Refresh, thank you. I can never sing your praises enough, Pokemon Refresh. And down goes Machamp with the Dazzling Gleam. Excellent. Venom is going to grow to level 63. And Hala's next Pokemon is going to end up being his ace, technically speaking. It's going to be Crabominable, level 63, fighting Ice-type, with Iron Fist for the ability, and it is holding the Phytinium Z. With the moves, Ice Hammer, Close Combat, Stone Edge, and Earthquake. Alright, so we can already expect to be hit by the Phytinium Z. Fire Fang or Brick Break? Brick Break does more damage, but do I try to bank on a possible burn? I'm gonna go for Brick Break. I think Brick Break is the better move. We are 14 levels higher than it, though. Okay, I was gonna say, I was hoping that we could have taken it out because we're so much higher leveled than it, but nope, it lived, and now it's gonna unleash its full force Z move, All Out Pummeling. For a second, the HP bar was going down very slow, not as slow as Blissey and Diamond and Pearl slow, but still fairly slow, so for a second, I was thinking we were gonna live. Okay. I believe we should outspeed with Triton. I'm at least hoping so, considering we are 11 levels higher than it. So let's go ahead and lock back into Dazzling Gleam. Okay, we do outspeed, thankfully. It didn't really matter which move we used against Crabominable, because either way, it was more than likely going down. We could have locked ourselves into one of our Water-type moves, but since we are facing a Fighting-type Master, I figured let's lock in with a Fairy-type move. Alright, and Hala's final Pokemon is going to be Beware, level 63. Normal Fighting-type with Fluffy for the ability. With the moves, Hammer Arm, Brutal Swing, Dragon Claw, and Shadow Claw. Very, very interesting that his Beware carries Dragon Claw. But that did not matter. One Dazzling Gleam was all it took, and we have defeated Island Kahuna Hala. To see one I sent out on the island challenge return with so much strength and energy, could anything be more fulfilling than to feel it firsthand along with my awesome Pokemon? And for defeating Kahuna Hala, he will give you the 2 Z crystals exclusive to the other starter Pokemon of the one you did not choose on your adventure. So in my instance, I just got the Deciduum Z as well as the Insinium Z. That should help you get stronger, my boy. And there we go. We have defeated the Island Kahuna once more, so now we can make our way to our next destination, which is actually the Professor's Lab. I would put up a rappel, but, you know, I think it'd be better if I just started making my way backward by flying with Charizard. I mean, I have the fast travel for a reason, right? I might as well use it. Although I think I need to spray or repel anyway. Yeah, we're probably gonna need to spray or repel. Nope, not Stoutland. Tauros! There we go. Okay. Yeah, let's go in our bag. Let's spray or repel, because, again, I could deal with it, but I really don't want to be pitted against a level 3 Pokemon, or level 2 Pokemon even. So let's see. Actually, let me do it by type, just so I can get the repel up here. Should be at the very top? No? Is it before my stones? There we go. Okay. That was right in the middle. I probably should have gone down instead. Whatever. Let's go ahead and use our full restore on Triton. There we go. I'll heal up Rocco later. Rocco could use a little bit of R&R and just stay not alive for now, being that Rocco's level 77. Alright, we're gonna head inside the professor's lab.
Oh, James, you look well.
Hey there, champion. You already know how rad Z-moves are, yeah? Yep. So those Z-crystals you collected on your island challenge are coming in handy? But where does the awesomeness of Z-moves come from? That's been one of the themes of my research into Pokemon moves. It all starts with your Z-Power Ring, yeah? Forged from the sparkling stone you got straight from Tapu Koko. When you use your Z-crystals, it brings you and your Pokemon together.
Yes, it seems that some sort of invisible bond is created between a trainer and their Pokemon.
Yeah, a trainer sends their physical and mental energy, and their Pokemon are surrounded by an aura.
So, what is it that allows a trainer to send their power to a Pokemon?
The Z-Power Ring? Yeah, it's that Z-Power Ring made from the refined sparkling stone that changes the trainer's power into light and gives their Pokemon the aura.
Then there is the light pouring into Alola from the Ultra Wormhole that Solgaleo or Lunala opened up.
That's an important point. Could sparkling stones also have come through the Ultra Wormhole and landed here in Alola?
Long ago, Necrozma lost part of its body. At least that's what the Ultra Recon Squad said.
If you combine my theory with what we've heard from the Ultra Recon Squad,
the sparkling stones themselves might be the part of Necrozma's body that it lost. If that's the case, then Necrozma, when it's with you, James, it can get back that part of itself that was once lost.
It might just be a theory, but you are one awesome trainer, James.
And Necrozma, in its own way, is an awesome Pokemon.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was Lily still speaking. I heard about it from Colress, yeah? He told me you can give Lunala's light to Necrozma.
Yes, and then Necrozma can change back into that brilliant form.
I've heard old stories about how Necrozma was driven back by the light, but people were just giving it the light it needed.
Someday, I hope I can use a Z-move with a Pokemon too.
Alright, thanks to my assistant Willy, yeah? And the champion himself, James. Oh yeah, I was finally able to unlock one piece of the Z-move puzzle. Woohoo! But the mechanism of exactly how Z-moves work remains shrouded in mystery. Yeah. I'm still counting on both of you to help me figure it all out. Alright, well, there we go. Now we've learned a little bit of more backstory from Necrozma.
James, thank you so much for helping me save my mother at Aether Paradise. I've actually been thinking. I became a Pokemon trainer myself because I looked up to you so much. But I am still not strong enough. So I'd really like the chance to learn more at your side. James, I want to be your partner at the Battle Tree. Would you maybe take me with you sometime?
I would love that.
Wonderful. Then my Pokemon and I will lend you our strength however we can when you want to challenge the Battle Tree.
Cool. When we finally reach this Battle Tree, we will now be able to have help, which is awesome. Although, Lily, last time you battled with me, you only had a Clefairy, so I'm only slightly concerned. Hey there, James. Looks like you're really giving it your all, yeah? You've got a lot of Pokemon registered in your Pokedex now.
Of course he has. He is my big boy. He fills up my decks, so I have a great time. I'm sure glad I ended up in these Zans.
Rotom's pretty fired up about it too. Of course, I am too. So I've got a little something for you. We have obtained the Lucky Egg. And trust me, when the Lucky Egg is equipped to your Pokemon, especially with the Forced Experience Share All, you're gonna be in for a good leveling up time. And Kukui is gonna mention the same thing I basically said. Although he ties it into helping fill up your Pokedex, which honestly doesn't really matter when it comes to that, but, you know, whatever. Alright, wait, I thought, oh, never mind. Okay, so this is Kukui's basement. I thought for a second that I was going the wrong way and exiting the house.
Hi, James. What a coincidence. The Machamp I call upon as a ride Pokemon really loves training, so we sometimes come here together. Great. That is the right amount of load for the muscle. Lifting a heavy object. That is the change in potential energy. The science you can learn from muscles is inspiring. Yeah, I should train sometimes too. Of course, Machamp is stronger than me. Well, let's call it a day. The Masked Royal is really great. He could lift me quite easily. Are you satisfied? Alright, see you again. Nice small I can't even speak, my god. A nice small interaction there with Moraine, who we saw at the Pokemon League with the Elite Four. Anyway, if you talk to Professor Kukui again after talking with Moraine, he's asking about the Z-Powers again and the Ultra Wormhole, but he will also evaluate your Pokedex again, and he will give you TM90 Substitute. Or at least in my notes it said he evaluated the Pokedex again. I guess he just gives it to you. Oh, yeah, it literally says in my notes, talk to Kukui again for TM. Nothing about the Pokedex. Never mind. Substitute's a really cool move. It really helps if you have a setup Pokemon that's really bulky, like a Snorlax or Blissey, because you could set up and increase your stats to maybe Baton Pass to another Pokemon, and you get a nice little doll that keeps you safe and takes damage for you, which is really, really cool. It is a fine technique to use. I personally don't use Substitute, but, you know, to each their own. Alright, and now that that interaction is done, let's go ahead and fly on Charizard, because the last stop that we are going to make is back in Howoli City. The Howoli City music never gets old. Alright, there's actually only one more real thing that we can do here in Howoli City, and that is actually going back to Ilima's house. However, that also ties into something after the fact, which is the technical final thing on Melemele Island. So, I'm gonna save that for next time on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Until then, though, thank you for watching, and I will catch you later.